Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and I was always told I had a voice for radio, so today we're going to be looking at Blaziken-GX. Now, I promised you a Blaziken-GX a while ago, chaoscards.co.uk, big fan of them as a side note, they revealed that we were getting one. So we assumed it was coming in Champion Road, and then this Blaziken was released, a little bit annoying, and we've been waiting for when we're actually getting it. Well, the good news is it's been revealed by the lovely David Hochmann. He provides our translation for this video, as he does most of our translation videos nowadays. He's lovely. And I tell you what, I'm a little bit excited. I am a little bit excited. So what we have here is a giant 240 HP Fire GX. 240, it's not up there with stuff like Metagross, but it is up there with stuff like Decidueye. And there's plenty of GXs like Gardevoir and Greninja, which are down at 230. So actually here, I'm quite a fan of 240. It's pretty nice. We've got a retreat cost of 1 here, which is low. Although Blaziken's pretty fast, it probably should be 0. We got a weakness to water, which is to be expected. But water's not a great type at the moment. Now Glaceon is seeing a little bit of play. I want Empoleon to be good, but it's just not happening. So not a bad weakness. We're not seeing great water decks running around at the moment. And being a fire Pokemon does mean you're hitting weakness against metal Pokemon like Metagross and grass Pokemon like Golisopod. So actually, pretty good time to be a fire Pokemon. And of course in the expanded format we got Scorched Earth, well, standard at the moment, but it's not going to be for much longer. And we've got Blacksmith, so there's a few little tricks around we can use. Oh yeah, and Kiawe. Probably should mention Kiawe. Kiawe's pretty important for accelerating that energy, but of course it's always the attacks we're looking at, and we start off double colourless energy, bog standard, 60 damage, 2 energy. Not terrible, but it doesn't quite hit the numbers. Now the thing here is, this is an attack for if you're not playing a fire deck. So you want to hit fire weakness, you're not playing a fire deck, you stick Blaziken-GX in, stunning artwork by the way, just worth pointing that out at the beginning. And then you whack a choice band on and you're hitting 90 with weakness up to 180. Problem is, of all these good Pokemon you're hitting for weakness, like none of them are being KO'd here. The one you're getting closest to is Duskmane Necrozma, a Pokemon that's seeing a lot of play at the moment. But the problem is, with a choice band and weakness you're hitting 180, that's not actually going to get a KO. Similarly, a lot of people are playing Solgaleo Prism Star, but it's not a GX, so you can't use choice band, so you're only actually hitting it for 120. So as much as this is a nice little attack there for a double colourless energy, and you can get some decent damage on the board, it's just not really good enough, bearing in mind that you're not hitting the key numbers. And let's face it, you might be playing Baby Volcanion, hey Nick, to accelerate a bit of energy. And you might be using Kiawe to accelerate a bit of energy, hey Nick. It's not relevant, but Nick's a good friend, so why wouldn't I say hello to him? But so you kind of need basic energy. You're not going to be playing double colourless in a fire deck. It makes it techable into a non-fire deck, but it's also a stage 2, making it really not that techable. The main attack here, 210 damage, discard 2 fire energy attached to this Pokemon for a minimum fire colourless. So you do 210 and discard energy. First things first, 210 is amazing. It is a brilliant number. Zoroark GX, Buzzwole, Silvally, all of these are going down. With a choice band, you're up to 240, so stuff like Gardevoir and Greninja are going down. And to be honest, most of the 250 HP Pokemon at the moment, think Metagross, think Solgaleo, are actually weak to fire, so you're getting a one-hit KO anyway. There will be the odd 250 HP GX that you can't one-hit KO, but they are going to be very few and far between. The big issue, of course, is going to be getting energy onto this regularly, and we've got Kiawe in the early game, and something to remember here, it's discard 2 energy. So let's say, for argument's sake, you Kiawe onto this, then the next turn, you attach an energy, discard 2, well, you've still got 3 on there, so the next turn, you can use it again. So you can pile energy on, and then use the attack turn after turn. But if you pile energy on a Pokemon at the moment, people are going to use Tapu Lele to punish you. That happens a lot in the format. There's no reason to think it's going to stop. But what we do have here is Blaziken. Blaziken from Champions Road, the one we were given when we were hoping to get a Blaziken-GX, is actually really good here. It's got the ability Firestarter. Once during your turn, you may attach a fire energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. It is the Malamar ability, but for fire Pokemon. And it's a stage 2, not a stage 1. Now, I said about Blaziken when I looked at it that usually seeing this ability on a stage 2 would suck, because we know it's good on a stage 1. Electric was the best deck in the format, and we really saw an awful lot of play with Bronzong when it did this, and now Malamar's looking great. But on a stage 2, we don't trust this ability. That's fine, because for fire Pokemon, it doesn't really matter, because you got Ho-Oh and you've got Kiawe. So really what you want to do turn 1 in any fire deck at the moment is Kiawe onto a Ho-Oh. And then what you do is you use the Champion Road Blaziken to keep getting the energy onto Ho-Oh. See where I'm going with this? I'm hoping by now you see where I'm going with this. If we're playing the Champion Road Blaziken anyway, we can play a couple of this Blaziken. Remember the rule, because Blaziken and Blaziken-GX have different names, you could in theory play 4 of each, but they both evolve from Torchic, and you can only actually play 4 Torchic, so in reality, you're going to be playing like a free 2-line at the most. And this gives you a really good attacker, because the thing is, right, Ho-Oh's only doing 180. To be honest, right, Ho-Oh will mostly get a KO. With a choice band, you're doing 210, etc. But you are going to come across decks like Gardevoir, and Gardevoir smashes Ho-Oh. Because you pop a whole bunch of energy on, and they're like, ha! And decks like Greninja, where you're just not going to be able to do this. Bearing in mind, Greninja's also hitting for weakness. Not against Ho-Oh, but it is against Blaziken. The thing is, we need a big attacker that isn't Ho-Oh that can just hit those higher numbers, so you can be one-hitting stuff like Gardevoir. That is where Blaziken-GX comes in. I want Blaziken-GX to be its own deck, and it could be with the Champion Road Blaziken. But the reality is, it's going to be just a little bit too slow, and you're going to be super reliant on having stage 2s in play. But if you combine it with Ho-Oh Kiawe, and you play Blaziken from Champion Road to accelerate energy, and then you play 1 or 2 of these as a really big attacker, bearing in mind you're playing the evolution line for Blaziken anyway, that's when this becomes really, really good. The GX attack here, it's fine. 1 fire energy, discard 2 energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon in play. And we know they're starting to reuse GX attacks at the moment. This is a reprint of... I'm just giving you a second to think about it. It's Umbreon. It is absolutely Umbreon. Now, the ruling here is actually quite complicated, but essentially it's energy, not energy cards. But for instance, you could discard 2 double colorless energy here, because what you would do is discard 1 of the energy from 1 double colorless and 1 of the energy from another double colorless, because that 1 energy card provides 2 energy, but if you pick 1 of them, you have to discard the card because you can't only discard 1. It is an awkward ruling, but I did check this with a high-ranking judge recently, and I actually got the ruling wrong, but they've checked me up on it. So you could use this to discard 2 double colorless energy. It's fine, it's not great. It's not a wonderful GX attack, and it's not a great reason to play the Pokemon. Now, the good news is, I say good news, but the good news is Ho-Oh's GX attack kind of sucks. So you're not going to be using that. Having said that, if you want a Fire-type GX attack at the moment, you're probably going to go Turtonator. Turtonator is probably the one you're going to go for because, you know, for 1 energy, you get to attach 5 basic fire from your discard to your Pokemon in any way that you like. It's a decent GX attack. You'll use it occasionally, but it's not something to get overly excited about, nor is the first attack. But there are 2 things that Blaziken has that makes it super exciting. Thing the first does 210 damage. It's a huge amount of damage. It's brilliant. Thing the second, we're probably already going to be playing the Blaziken from Champion Road for energy acceleration, and this just slots super nicely in alongside it. I don't think this is going to be an amazing deck on its own, although I'd love to be wrong about that, because I think most of the time Ho-Oh Kiawe is probably going to outspeed it. But I could see Ho-Oh Kiawe decks putting in a line of Blaziken from Champion Road for energy acceleration in the mid to late game, because remember, Kiawe ends your turn, so it's kind of inconvenient. And then I would be very surprised if you didn't play one or two of these Blaziken. So I'm going to give Blaziken 4 Wassies. And essentially, if people do play Blaziken in Ho-Oh, this is going to be an amazing card that's going to see a huge amount of play and a lot of success. And if people keep playing Ho-Oh just with Kiawe and don't put Blaziken in, this card's probably going to never see much play at all. Maybe 4 Wassies is too generous. But I haven't had much sleep for like the last 4 days, so, you know, I'm cool with it. But if you're not cool with it, or if you are, I don't really mind. But do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. Tell me what you think about this, and tell me what you think about it in conjunction with the one from Champion Road. And I will, of course, try and remember to pop a link to that video in the description. By now, you guys should know any relevant card that gets released, I'm doing a video on it. And I know the other day I was a little bit late, but in my defense, my wife was literally in labour when those cards were revealed. I'm giving myself a pass. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. And do check out my video game /Dragon Ball Super channel, Wassie Plays, for some more Wassie action. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.